Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
At 9:05 a.m., the pricing model flipped a subtle bias into a visible business problem. Within a week, the company was down more than $1 million in monthly revenue, and nobody on the schedule knew who would be accountable. I'm Mirko. We explore how data science and AI drive real business impact, straight from the leaders making it happen.
Today, I'm walking you through the executive playbook for turning pilots into products, not as a checklist, but as a set of operational choices that actually change financial outcomes. If you're a CEO, CTO, CDO, or head of analytics, this episode is about one question. How do you stop celebrating experiments and start shipping revenue?
Quick credibility note. I've led transformations where product managers sat inside engineering squads, where data contracts stopped production incidents, and where one scorecard forced a portfolio of pilots to either scale or die. Those are the lessons you'll hear. Practical, executive level, and immediately actionable.
Start with a mental model. Treat AI like a product line, not a one-off project. That means you own discovery, the lifecycle for data and features, and the operational guarantees that customers, internal or external, depend on. Say it with me. Models are tools. Value is the outcome. Discovery is often misframed as research. The right frame is a short, measurable trial that proves causal impact on a business KPI. Run a narrow experiment that answers one question. Will this change behavior or economics? If it doesn't, stop. If it does, you've earned a productization conversation. Microstory. A payments team ran a 3-week test for fraud scoring that showed a 20% drop in manual reviews and a 7% lift in approvals. Because the trial was tied to a financial metric, finance agreed to fund a 90-day productization sprint. That's how pilot converts to budget. Measurable money, not vague optimism.
Another common trap. We celebrate model metrics, accuracy, AUC, while ignoring operational cost. I once heard an AI product lead say, "We shipped the model and the data changed overnight." That one sentence captures why handoffs must be explicit and governed.
So how do you structure roadmaps? Pair feature and data milestones with model milestones. Every roadmap line should list the data owner, the data SLA, the model retrain cadence, and the business decision owner, the person who will accept responsibility when outcomes diverge. Visibility forces trade-offs before launch.
Prioritization needs a simple equation: value at stake times speed of adoption minus operational risk. Prefer projects that reduce downstream risk or increase reuse. Reusable data products compound. Standalone hacks don't. Funding patterns matter. Central platforms give you scale and reuse. Embedded teams give you speed. The hybrid, platform components plus embedded product teams, usually wins. But you must set funding rules. Require a minimum viable data contract before any product budget is released. No contract, no funding.
What's in a minimum viable data contract? Schema, ownership, freshness, access controls, and an SLA for availability and quality. If your pricing model depends on hourly price updates, a 24-hour freshness SLA is useless. The contract aligns expectations and allocates accountability.
Microstory. A retailer I advised required 24-hour data freshness and 99.9% inference uptime for pricing models. They paired that with a weekly executive review of conversion lift, revenue per visit, and false positive rate. When drift triggered, an automated rollback protected revenue, and the model became a reliable product line. Let's talk the handoff, where most things fail. Define ownership for feature computation, model training, deployment, inference, monitoring, and incident response. Ambiguity here means firefighting. Name the team, the SLA, and the escalation path for each responsibility.
Feature ownership deserves emphasis.
Either get feature teams with clear owners or invest in a feature store with operational ownership. Pair those owners with an embedded product manager who understands the domain and the KPI. That pairing eliminates drift and accelerates reproducibility.
Monitoring must connect model signals to business signals. Don't just monitor loss or latency. Monitor conversion, adoption, costs, and exception rates. Define error budgets and an incident playbook. Who rolls back? Who notifies customers? Who owns remediation and the cost bucket?
MicroStory. A SaaS vendor tracked a churn prediction model only by AUC. When churn suddenly rose, they discovered the model had adapted to a new feature rollout. Because there was no business-level monitor, the model kept recommending wrong retention offers. After fixing the governance, the next iteration reduced churn by 1.5 percentage points, a direct P&L win.
Now, governance and decision rights. Create a product council with business, engineering, finance, and legal or ethics sponsors. Empower it to approve roadmaps, resolve finding, and enforce kill criteria. If a council becomes a rubber stamp, fix membership, charter, and cadence until it drives outcomes.
Measure success on an executive scorecard. 2 to 3 business KPIs, 1 cost metric, and 1 reliability measure. Tie those to P&L where possible. Then define a timeline and kill criteria. If the product misses targets after the window, pause or rescope it. Discipline beats optimism.
Culture is the multiplier. Reward reuse, not heroics. Incentivize platform contributions and encourage documentation of SLAs. Reward business adoption rather than one-off dumps of models to stakeholders. Alignment, not mandates, moves organizations forward. Looking ahead, build 3 durable capabilities this year. A product council that enforces prioritization and funding. A minimal platform with standard data contracts and feature ownership. And an executive scorecard that ties product metrics to P&L. Each is simple, but together they create repeatability. 2 immediate plays to run this quarter. First, mandate a minimum viable data contract before any production budget is released. Second, pick 1 mission-critical pilot and run a 90-day productization sprint. Assign a product manager, name a data owner, and set a measurable financial target. Win, scale, miss, kill. Remember the distinction that matters. Models are tools. Value is the outcome. Build governance and incentives so your organization stops measuring engineering artifacts and starts measuring business impact. That's the difference between models and value.
Before we close, a quick real-world checklist you can use now. 1-page data contract template, 1-line SLA for every data product, a named product manager for each pilot, and an executive scorecard with kill criteria. Put those in motion this month, and you'll see fewer surprises next quarter.
If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.